We're supposed to teach them with kindness, not telling them. So, if you guys could go to Matthew 5:14.
Matthew 5:14.
Mm-hmm. It says, "Ye are the light of the world." An example of balance and good taste, we should not be so out of step with the fashion of society that we stand out to be proud. So what that means is that we don't want to be like them. You know what I mean? Like, we're Christian, we're the light of the world. We don't want to be like them. There's probably gonna be people wearing like really tiny skirts. Like, we're probably gonna want to be like them, but we're gonna try not to affect from them. You know? Clothes can be fashionable without being immodel or particular. La ropa puede estar bonita sin enseñar el cuerpo. You guys could wear whatever you want, but nowadays it's hard to find. I go to the stores and it's really, really hard to find like cute clothes that covers up like your whole body, because nowadays there's a rip right here, there's a rip right here, rip right here. So it's like really, really hard. Apparel should be appropriate for the educations. Decent. There's a difference. When you go to the beach and you wear a swimsuit, you're at the beach. You're not going to church and disrespecting people. You're not going to the store and disrespecting you and people, you know? You're going to the beach. So it's okay if you wear a swimsuit. And then jeans for backyard work, and usually a dress for nicer outfits or special educations. A Christian woman should especially strive to look nice for her husband or her family. You could look good for your family, for your husband if you're married. You know? Okay. In the Old Testament, God gives this law. A woman should not wear anything that prevents to a man, nor should a man put a woman's garment, for all who do so in abomination to the Lord your God. This means that boys have their way of dressing, and girls have the way of dressing. Girls cannot be looking like guys, and guys cannot be looking like girls. We all have different types of clothing. You cannot be wearing really, really baggy pants that do not fit us, shirts that go up to our knees that do not fit us, because that's not feminine. And you guys could go to, okay. Don't be lazy with your appearance. Yes, big t-shirts and sweatpants are more comfortable than wearing attractive clothing. Sometimes you're sick, sometimes you feel lazy, but to go to la casa de Dios, you're supposed to look nice because you're gonna worship God. But as a Christian woman, your appearance is important to God. If you are married, God has given you to your husband, and your appearance should be, and most likely will be, important to him. You can't be looking all lazy everywhere, to work, to church. You're also supposed to look nice. You don't have to try your best, do your makeup, do your hair. Just wear at least nice clothes. As a believer, and specifically as a Christian woman, God wants you to do everything you can to the best of your ability. Sometimes, like I said, you're gonna feel sick, you're not gonna want to do it. You want just to wear lazy stuff, but you have to, because it's respect towards everybody and yourself. Is one thing if you're sick and if you're doing some work around the house, then your clothing might be attractive, but besides those limits, times a woman has duty to keep up her appearance, and not only for God but her husband. Like I said, you cannot be looking not ugly, but like all lazy everywhere. I get it that if it's in your house, you're doing homework or you're cleaning, you don't have to look the best. But when you're gonna go out, try at least to look presentable. Yeah.
Mhm.
So does not clothes illustrates your heart. Basically, if you're actually a Christian, you cannot be two people. You cannot be two-faced. I don't know if you say it like that. Two-faced. You can't be someone outside of church and you can't be someone inside of church. You can't be someone in church and wear very good clothes and so they don't tell you anything, and then the next day go to a party and have like mini skirts and then like just a bra. You can't do that because that's just being two-faced, and God does not like that. Does my clothing illustrate my stutter to the Lord? This does not mean a planned person is more stuttered or fancy dresses. So God sees what you have in your heart. God sees what you have in your heart. You can't, like I said, you cannot be two-faced. God knows what you have in your heart. God knows that if you're just doing it because you go to church and you don't want them to do anything, God also knows if you're just doing it. You know what I mean? Just to do it. A Christian cannot be like the world. We are different. We have been called out for the world. If you guys could go John 2:15.
Let me see that.
It's in the New Testament. All the way to the New Testament. More. Más. More.
Yeah. Okay, it says, do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Oh, wow.
Which means that if you go to a party and you follow them, God is not in you. You need to teach them instead of being like them. Yeah?
Oh,
So,
God.
right here it says, if you dress for the glory of God, your clothes will reveal purity instead of showing the forms of your body to provoke others. You are going to cover it properly because you do not even want to think about leading a person to sin against the truth and living God you say you love, adore, and serve. By wearing that clothes, it could lead into really bad stuff. There's weird people outside in the world. You do not know what. You could provoke people to sin, and it's just gonna be like a really bad like sin. If you just wear what you're supposed to wear and worship God like you're supposed to do, then God is gonna be perfectly fine. Like I said, you don't have to be boring with your fits. You don't have to like. You could dress up like regular, but just don't. You don't have to show your value. That's it. May God help us to glorify Him in everything we do, including the way we dress. Our clothing says a lot about the reality of our heart. The way we dress says a lot about our heart.
Wow.
A lot. People get so offended when we talk about clothing because then they start saying that we want to judge them. Then they start saying that we don't let them be them. I don't know. It's just a lot of things they say about that. But I never knew me. I would wear whatever I want. My mom would tell me to not wear that. My dad would tell me. Even my dad would tell me. Even my aunts would tell me not to wear that. And I would get offended because I'd be like, why are they telling me what to do? It's my body. But me, really reading the Bible really helped me understand like what it means. So it really impacted me, and now I know what's right and what's wrong. I'm done.
Conclusion.
Or are we saying?